Divergent thinking. Where have you heard convergent, divergent? Physics. Where in physics? Glass, lens, light. Light diverges. Which lens diverges? Is it concave or convex? Concave diverges or converges? Concave what? Diverges. And convex? Okay. So you know it in the form of science and in light. Did you know that there is something called as convergent thinking and divergent thinking? Had you heard of these terms? Yes or no? How many of you have heard divergent thinking? No. Okay. Now we'll do an exercise. All of you have your sheets? Okay. Do you see those circles or ovals or whatever they look like? Okay. Now you will be given 1 minute. Okay? 1 minute. Fill all the circles with something unique. It needs to be something that is in a circle. Okay, it could be a face, it could be the sun, it could be a ball. Okay, use the circles, fill it with something unique. You have 1 minute. Let's see how many ideas you come up with. Okay, this is not an examination, but no copying allowed. I want all of you to work independently and come up with as many ideas. You have another 45 seconds. Thirty seconds. If somebody's finished the sheet, please raise your hands. Twenty seconds. Shall we start doing a countdown? Rocket lift off, okay? 10, 9. Are you drawing or not drawing? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Okay. How many did you complete? How many circles have you completed? How many finished all? Okay, I'm so sorry I'm out of chocolates, but you can ask Veena to... It's unique, yeah? Come on. How many of you finished all the things? Please show. What did you do? Come, show, come. Whoever finished the sheet, come. The others, how many did you do? 20. 21. Okay. The range is around 20, 21. How many of you did less than 5, 10? How many of you did less than 10? Okay. You have a lesson coming from me very shortly. So, okay, come. At least one photograph. Come, come, come. One more, come. All those who finished the sheet, come. Come now. Guys, this is an opportunity. opportunity, yeah. Come.
Okay, we along with that.
Yeah, yeah. What did you do?
Initially, I do the pick later.
Nice.
Then we will number it.
Come, come, come.
Keyboard.
Exactly. Very good.
All mathematical symbols.
You did a, okay. Interesting. You actually
Alphabets, numbers, scientific
made it like a oh, friend's name. Interesting.
Vodamus and lovely.
Wow. There. Yeah, please put up your sheet. Clap, guys. I know we don't have chocolates, but here is the fun bit, right? Now, once they tell you what they did, all of you will be wondering, why the hell didn't I do that? Right? How many of you were second guessing yourselves? Once you've drawn a ball, you can't draw another ball. How many of you did that to yourselves? You've drawn one sun, you can't draw another sun or a star. One flower, different flower, not allowed. How many of you did emojis? You need to take a pic like this. How many of you did emojis? Please raise your hands. This is what happens to the youth of today. Right? Everywhere you see circles, you only see emojis, right? So thanks a lot. So the trick was very simple, right? Now when we say divergent thinking, divergent is about many, right? Start from one place and create many. So you had one circle and you were using that circle to come up with unique ideas. Now one very simple thing is to write letters inside it. Or you can draw 1 dot, 2 dots. That would also be fine. Because the important thing there was unique, right? One circle had to be different from the other circle. This is an exercise for you to actually come up with multiple ideas. So whenever you're feeling stuck, you don't know what other ideas to get, you can try something like this, okay? This is a way to actually improve your creativity through divergent thinking. So creativity is all about divergent thinking, okay? Coming up with multiple ideas. Convergent thinking, on the other hand, right? Convergent thinking, on the other hand, is when you have many choices and you have to find that one alternative, right? For example, when you are buying a car or when you are buying a bike, you have so many models out there, right? Yes or no? Can you buy all of them? Yes or no? Again, if you're an Ambani, you're an Elon Musk, yes, maybe. But if not, you can only buy one, right? So what is the thinking you use when you have multiple options and you need to identify one? That thinking is called convergent thinking. All of you clear? So what's divergent thinking and convergent thinking? Divergent thinking, on the other hand, is coming up with many ideas. I'll not go into the details. But there's a YouTube link. If you want, you can put a pic. You can just take a pic of it and watch it later. Okay? Here is the rule of divergent thinking. For all those people who couldn't fill the circles, right? Here are the ground rules for divergent thinking. Defer judgment. We have this internal critique or parent or teacher sitting inside our heads telling, hey, this is not the right answer. Don't do this. This is not correct. Or this is not looking good enough, right? You are second guessing yourself. So defer judgment. Don't judge before you come up with the idea. If somebody asks, let's brainstorm, going from point A to point B, why don't we teleport ourselves? Oh my God, that's so stupid. Please defer judgment. That's what we do, right? Internally, we are telling ourselves, oh my God, that is sounding so stupid. Yes or no? How many of you do that? How many of you talk to yourselves, keep telling yourself you're not doing the right thing? All of us do it, yeah. Even I do. Combine and build ideas. So this is called a yes and thinking. Okay? So what is yes and thinking? If somebody says, I want to go from point A to point B, and the person says, you know what? Let's teleport. Instead of saying, hey, that's stupid, say, oh really? And can we do this also? Now, the more wild the ideas are, the better you're priming your brain to come up with amazing solutions. If it hadn't been for that, I don't think Elon Musk would have come up with that Hyperloop idea, right? How many of you say, wow, that is so good? Nice, right? But if you don't have wild ideas and we keep sticking to one thing, then it's not going to happen. You know how many years it took to change the light bulb? I don't mean the light bulb as in taking it out and putting it back, like those answers and jokes that you get. Edison created that first bulb, right? It took nearly 70 years to come up with a new idea. Why? Everybody just kept trying to improve the efficiency of the bulb. They said better material, better this, better glass, something inside. Okay, can we fill it with neon? Can we fill it with argon? Inert gas, oxygen, no oxygen, hydrogen. They kept trying to modify only that. Nobody asked one question. What was that question? What was the question that they should have asked? What was the question they should have asked? If you want to innovate something, what is the first question you should ask? Not why, before the why also. Not how. Most of them were doing the how and the why. What? You have to ask, what do you really want? The bulb made sense in 1890s or whatever because that was the only technology that was available. Right? What was the need? They wanted light. What did bulbs do? They used resistivity. So you passed current through very high resistance so that it heated it up and the filament glue and it gave out light. But what was it effectively doing? Heating, right? So your wattage, most of it was actually going in as a waste into creating heat. One of the challenges with bulbs is they kept blowing up. How many of you know about this? Okay, I'm not sure. Most of you kids are the LED generation. So possibly you don't know also, right? The first question to ask with innovation is also about what? What are we really trying to do here? Very often what happens is somebody will say, design a car. Or design this metro. Without even asking, what is the purpose of that metro? Why are they even looking for it? And most of us, because we are engineers, will jump in and say, yes, this is an opportunity for me. Like the smart city thing, right? We were having that conversation as well. We are making things smart. We are losing common sense. Because we have stopped asking that question, what? I'll not get into these details. So convergent and divergent thinking. Okay. How many of you have seen this movie? That's an example of convergent thinking. Do all of you remember? What does he make? All is well, yes. But what does he make? He brings in the generator and he brings in all those things and he creates something, right? So, convergent thinking is when you have limited resources, when you have limited options, how do you best come up with a solution that works? In India, it's very predominantly known as jugaad. All of you know, no? Jugaad. We are all masters of it. In fact, there is a course called Jugaad Innovation in the US now. This is how divergent thinking was in India. How many of you know these symbols? What are those symbols? Please tell names. Yes. Kalpavruksha and Kamadhenu. What are these? Epitomes of divergent thinking. Ask anything, you will get it. Right? It's like, it is up to you. You can figure it out. This is how ideation has to be. Ask anything. Does Kamadhenu say this is not going to work? It will give, right? Kalpavruksha is also supposed to give, right? Now I'm giving Indian examples. Most of the times we'll only see Western examples. I just wanted to change the situation a bit. So an innovator's mindset. So another aspect which is very, very critical is having the right thinking. So a lot of people will keep telling you out of the box thinking. Okay? It's not just divergent thinking. It is about using the right kind of thinking at the right time. So you need to use both convergent and divergent thinking. All clear? Any questions so far? Any questions? The ask why and the ask what. So always, you remember the 5W and 1H? So for everything you go, the starting point is always 5W and 1H. All the MBAs will know this, or MCAs also. Management will know this. Right? 5W, 1H. Please note it down. What is 5W and 1H? What, why, who, when, where, and how. So anybody ask you anything, you have to ask these questions. Children do this with your parents all the time. You can't have chart, why? Yes? We do it all the time, right? But we don't do it when it comes to work. And we certainly can't do it with our teachers. You have to do assignment, why? So very important. What does this why symbolize? It is curiosity. So all children have this, right? They keep asking you, why is the train going like that? Why can't the aeroplane, why can't the train fly? Right? There is always a healthy curiosity. Now exploratory, when you do divergent thinking processes, it is also about an exploratory thinking or a curiosity thinking. Okay? All of you get this? So third aspect, to be an innovator, you need to be curious and you need to be optimistic. Okay? Okay. Let's see how many of you can solve this riddle. There is a cabin in the middle of the woods. The door is closed. The window is open. You open the door and you walk in, and there are two dead bodies on the floor. John and Mary Ann are dead. Surrounding them is glass, rock, and water. Sitting quietly on the sofa is Tom. He immediately runs out of the room as you enter it. What do you think happened? And how did John and Mary Ann die? What happened? Solve the riddle, guys. Let's see. How did they die? All are whodunit movies, right? Or in, like the news guys say, how did John and Mary Ann die? कैसे मरे अगले एपिसोड में? क्या टॉम जिम्मेदार है इसके लिए? क्या हुआ था? You're supposed to laugh a little bit at least, yeah? I'm putting on so much effort. So how did Tom and Mary Ann die? Any answers? Any answers? Let's see. How wild can your imagination go? How wild can your imagination go? All the clues are there. How wild can your imagination go? You going to tell the answer? That's very disappointing. Wait. Please don't move. Yeah. How did John and Mary Ann die? They fought amongst themselves. Okay. How else could they have died? Tom killed them. Okay. What else could have happened? What are you imagining when you're imagining the scene? How many of you are visualizing the scene? You're visualizing the scene? Who are the two dead bodies? John and Mary Ann. How do they look? Dead. That's Tom. Those are John and Mary Ann. How many of you imagined fish? Okay, there was only one person in this group who imagined a cat, Tom being the cat. Why Tom cat? Because Tom and Jerry. Because that association is there. But John and Mary Ann, fish, no. But glass, rocks, water, nothing struck, right? The moment you saw names, we jumped in and said, oh, two dead bodies. How many of you guessed fish? Not even one, is it? So always question your assumptions. That is also a very important aspect. Just because it's given to you doesn't mean the answer might be right there, but you may not even see the obvious simply because we are biased in our thinking. Okay, what can all of you see here? Okay, how many of you see face? How many of you see something other than face? Okay, tree. How many of you see a woman walking by? Okay. This is called perspective. Now, for the people who have seen the woman walking, can you make out the face? But till you were told there is a face, did you observe it? Yes, sir. Okay. So, perspective is, it may look obvious to you, but there may be something more inside it. Okay? It requires you to look a little more deeper. But once you look at it, once you see it, you can't unsee it. That is also there. Right? Does that happen? You have all those illusions that they send, right? This is where we bring in the next aspect, which is embracing ambiguity. Things may not necessarily look, just because they look a certain way, doesn't mean that is. Okay? So it's important to embrace ambiguity, question your assumptions. The moment you heard John and Mary Ann, you were thinking people. Should I be questioning that? Is that the obvious thing? Could it be something else? So an innovator brings with them a mindset of questioning everything. You used to be like that as kids. Yes or no? So these are not new things that need to be learned. These are actually old things that need to be remembered. Okay. Yeah, this is the one that we have best fun at. Okay? All of you have sheets? Empty sheets? Come on now. All of you make rockets. How many of you made rockets recently? How many of you throw rockets in class? Now you should be experts at it then. Okay, the brief is you have to make a rocket and you have to fly it so that it reaches the stage. Okay? Please write your names before you fly it. Please write your names before you fly it out. Okay, let the planes begin. Come on. Try. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. I hope you guys have written your names. Whoa. Whose was this? Good one. Whose was this? Hey, this was really good. Whose was this? They haven't written their name. Who made this design? Who drew this? Who made this? Who made this? Okay, I hope all of you heard. I said make a rocket and send it. I didn't say make only one rocket. You can make as many rockets as long as it lands on the stage, right? Who is this? Am I reading this right? It's Madhase. Madase. Good job, man. Spurti. Sudeep. Good job. I think we'll have to stop now. Next slide. Very soon you'll have projectiles. So, okay, back to basics. That was interesting. Whoa! Enough. Okay. Give yourselves a clap. All of you, loudly. Okay. Now I need your attention here. Okay, when you're leaving, you have to pick up all the papers that you have thrown. No littering, guys. 3 important aspects to learn from this. First, experiment. When you make something, the experience of physically of doing something and seeing it happen cannot replace virtual worlds. How many of you believe in that now? How many of you believe that that physical aspect of making it, even making those paper boats and letting it flow in the water, right? As children, you had so much fun doing this. But we've all stopped, right? Now everything is online. Everything is on the mobile. Stop, guys. Next aspect. Learn from failure. Just because it didn't work the first time, you can make it multiple times. Every time you change the design a little bit. right? Till you get it right. So you learnt from that as well. So invention cycle usually goes through that, right? Creativity, try, test. Next one. Continuous learning is about iterate, test. If it fails, iterate again. So everything happens in cycles. So design thinking, a very important aspect. You remember we said empathy? This is the most important one. Iterate, fail, it's okay to fail, iterate again till you get it right. Okay? Just skip the slides. I'll not go into the innovation process. Skip. I'll keep telling you. Okay? Okay, the last few bits, just to kind of get a feel for it. Please have a positive mindset, so be optimistic. So when you are feeling blocked or stuck, you can do all these things to improve your creativity. Okay? Daydreaming actually works, especially if you're looking at creativity. Make a journal, keep a journal, guys. The journal could also be on gratitude, because that also improves how you present yourself, how you come across. Embrace change, because that is critical. No matter what happens, you need to be willing to change. Be curious. So I told you all of these already, right? Play games. Make it playful. The moment you have that childlike curiosity and joy, did you realize you felt so happy and light, right? Did creation happen just like that? You didn't have to work too hard for it, were you? Were you working very hard for it? It just happened. But that requires you to be in a certain mind space. And congratulate yourselves every time you fail. Tell, hey, you tried it, you made it. It's okay if it didn't win this time. Okay? So the blocks to creativity, I also mentioned it when you were drawing the circles. What happens? We are all conditioned by these biases. We are conditioned by emotional responses. We are conditioned by cultural responses. Oh, girls cannot fly planes. Girls can't do math. These are issues that we need to address. Okay? So identify what barriers exist and work on them. There could be perceptual barriers. I can't do it. Maybe other people can, but I can't learn a piano. Right? It could be a perceptual barrier. Unless you try, you will never know. So good. Stop at this. So the three main things that you need to know when we come to design thinking. So now you understood what the innovator's mindset is, or who is a design thinker. So there are three main aspects that you need to focus on. One is, do people really want this? What do they really want? For example, in the bulb case, what they wanted was light. They didn't want a bulb. They wanted light. So how can I provide it? So there you look at technology. In technology, again, you look at feasibility. Do I have the right technology to meet what the people are desiring? When you marry the two, you create what is called as functional innovation. But that's not enough. You can have the most amazing designs, but they will not sell. So that brings the third aspect of design thinking, which is business viability. Unless you can sell what you make, unless there are people willing to buy what you create, you do not have a successful innovation. Tesla cars would not have made it to the market if they were priced too high or whatever, right? But how he priced it also mattered. He created it as a niche product. He said, I will sell it only for $250,000 or whatever, right? He created it as a brand. Emotional innovation. How I make people want to buy my product. How many kids want to eat only KFC and McDonald's? Right? Why does that happen? Emotional innovation. There is a branding that's associated. So if you need to sell, it's not enough to create a product. You need to know how to brand it as well. Okay? So all of these is what creates the innovation. Between technology and business, how do I ensure that the technology is viable? That is process innovation, right? Classes earlier were face-to-face. Today it's virtual. Why? Because of COVID, yes. That is process innovation, right? The same thing that is happening in a different channel or medium. That is process innovation. Banks, earlier we had to go to the bank, to a teller and so on. Today, you have ATMs. Now you don't even need ATMs, you have digital currency. The model hasn't changed. It's still money. But the transaction, the way it's happening has changed. Okay? So all of these, when I cover all these three aspects, is when I create what is called as an experience innovation. And that is where design thinking fits. So design thinking fits in that sweet spot. All of you have seen the set theory, right? If you're math students, you will have seen sets. So the intersection of those three sets. And a lot of times what you also need to remember is people may want something, but they may not be able to articulate. According to what Ford said once upon a time. If you had asked an old person what they wanted a faster horse. Right? They may not know how to explain what they want. It is for the designer to figure out what is that need that they really want and try to provide it for them. What they want is light, not the heat. So how can I provide it differently? Is there another technology? That is where LED comes in. Okay? That is what is also called opportunity scouting. So we'll not go into more details of it, maybe next time. But all of you, hope you had a good day. I hope you learned something. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for being such an interactive audience. And from my side, should I ask any questions? No, I think it's time for you guys to go have lunch. So thanks a lot, guys. You can message the questions. I can take them offline.
I request everyone to please be seated for a few minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. The session was very interactive because I can see smiling faces everywhere. And I hope all the participants enjoyed it and learned the main objective of the innovation and design thinking session.
I hope you all enjoyed the session. Yes? Can I have a louder yes? Once again, thank you, ma'am.
Let me brief you about the WIE Ideate and Entrepreneurs Market. So about the Ideathon, it consists of two stages. First one is idea submission and the second one is idea presentation. The brochure is already floated. So I look forward to see you all tomorrow for the active participation. Also on-spot registrations are taken.
An entrepreneurs market. It's on 28th March, that's Monday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be a fun event, so I request everyone to register. The spot registrations are taken, where you have to set up your own stalls and promote this culture. So all the best, participants. Thank you, everyone. This is a short notice. Participants who have registered, do sign at the registration counter to get the lunch coupon. Now it's time for a break. Before that, I request you all to please stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Now it's time for a break. I request all the participants to proceed for the lunch arranged at Boys Hostel. Hope to see you all come back with the same energy and enthusiasm. Lots of involving and exciting journey ahead. Thank you everyone. We will get back shortly.
Already somebody is there.
Hmm.
How will come to know participants, ma?
Here everything will come off, man. How many participants are there? ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಆಫ್ ಇದೆ, ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಆನ್ ಇದೆ. ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಆನ್
ಅಲ್ಲ
ಇದೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
Here only it will come out. Everything will come.
No, ನಮ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್
ನೋಡಿ.
ಬೇಡ.
ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್. ಈಗ ಮೈಕ್
Hi, Seema. Hello, Seema.
Hi.
Seema, I have some doubt, ma. You basically are from Belgavi.
Yes.
Do you remember me? Vandana Puranik. From Vivek, we had organized one EDP program in the Chamber of Commerce.
I know we had arranged a EDP program, but I cannot place your name right now. Maybe a little time and I'll know.
Only one batch ನೆನಪಿದೆನಾ? ಆಮೇಲೆ you had given me one big pot ma for
Yeah.
flower vase. I'm the florist, first florist in Belgavi.
Okay, okay.
Then you had given me during the exhibition, you had gifted me one big vase.
Yes, yes.
Where did you see? Yeah,
Which part of Belgaum did you stay?
I stayed in Bhagyanagar. That time awake people had come, and
Yeah, I know.
that time we participated that EDP program, and one sir had come from Hubli. That time,
Raghavendra Okde must have come.
yes, he's no more now.
Yeah, I know. I heard about it.
And I'm Pankaja's relative, Pankaja's
Okay.
Bhavi's sister.
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah. I think we had done the program in that BMIC chamber.
Yes.
Yeah.
And after that, no, that industry visit, we had been to your factory also. By
So
the way, where?
I
Yeah,
am
tell me.
I am right now in Uttar Pradesh.
Okay, okay, okay. Uttar Pradesh.
Okay, and you are with JIT now?
No, 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 no. I run a garment industry actually.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so now and
That's
she is Nalini. She is into boutique.
okay. Interesting.
Belgaum by around 15th of April. Then I'll be there for about a month and a half. So that time
Yeah, yeah. You're staying for a very long time, no, ma'am? Like 1 month you are going to be here?
one and a half month I'll be in Bangalore. So
Okay.
in that I'll make maybe a 2-3 days visit to Belgaum.
Yeah.
Hello everyone.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Good afternoon, Seema. Good afternoon, Priya, ma'am.
Yes, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, Priya. Yeah.
Good
And
afternoon,
we're
ma'am.
all sharing the same screen here at GIT. All of us will be from the same link. Okay.
Sure, no
Yes.
That
problem.
will be.
I give it to my volunteers to begin the session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
A very good afternoon, everyone. I hope all are back with the same energy and enthusiasm. Behind every successful woman is a tribe of even more successful women who have her back. AMA, Ask Me Anything, is a session consisting of a panel of influential women entrepreneurs to address the youth about the scope for women entrepreneurs in various domains and the motivation to be exceptional future leaders. So I now call upon Professor Pratidnya ma'am to introduce the panel of influential women entrepreneurs. They are Dr. Kumudini Ravindran, ma'am, and Miss Priya Puranik, and Miss Seema Sali, and Miss Nirmala ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
indeed honored to introduce our esteemed panel today. To start with, Dr. Kumudini Ravindran. What a person she is. Great influencer, and we had a lot of learning that happened today at GIT under her leadership. Up next, let me take up a little technical introduction about Dr. Kumudini Ravindran. She's a business transformation leader and energy economist with clean tech, sustainability, innovation, and outcome based education expertise. And she has over 2 decades of interdisciplinary experience across multiple industries. She is involved in different domains, starting from transformation leader. She is involved as co-founder of Unit Inc. She is also a principal partner for strategic innovation and research with InnoMantra. She is leadership mentor for Chalkboard Services, startup in higher education. She is also involved with Jyoti Cells Academy, Iron Lady, Sky Group India, Fire Up Consulting. She is also into the Azim Premji Foundation, an NGO. As an energy economist, she's completed different projects with PRDC, USAID, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. She is having a wide variety of skill sets under to take up. So she is involved into innovation. She's involved as an innovation coach and energy economist. She's also involved into power systems and smart grids. She is a great outcome-based educationalist. To add to her experience, she is Chief Strategy Officer and co-founder from 2020 now onwards. She is a director at Namuta, Bangalore from May 2021 to date. She is visiting professor with UVCE Bangalore from January 2022. Um, Next, coming to her education, she is postgraduate diploma in innovation and design thinking. She has completed her PhD degree from Department of Management, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. This is a brief introduction of Dr. Kumudini. Up next, we have with us today Miss Seema Sali. Hi, Google. So, everybody is wondering who is Google. So, Miss Seema Sali, she is actually a Google who is involved with different functionalities, be it organizing, be it making a person a hero, or be it running different aspects of business as an entrepreneur, as an employee, as well as she is a consultant. She has different experience to her in consulting interventions. She has more than 14 years of experience in the domain. She has started her consulting career from the year 2000 onwards, and she has around put up around 25,000 senior and mid management professional training programs. 100 train the trainer sessions were conducted, and she has also conducted soft skill training programs for the organizations like Infosys, Accenture, Wipro, and Fidelity. Coming to her experience as an employee, she headed, she was involved with Reliance Trends as the head of talent. Then she was also involved in HR operations. During her period, she is involved in life cycle management of four organizations, and she has framed HR policies for four organizations, namely William Penn, Rural Shores, JUSP, and Atria Powers. In recruitment, she is having a great interview capability, and she has been into the recruitment process for many organizations. Now, under the entrepreneurship activities, she is an entrepreneur dealing with fiber reinforced plastics, providing solutions to construction industry, and she has later diversified into solutions for sugar and chemical industry. She has run this industry for 10 years, and she was awarded as the best woman entrepreneur by Rotary Club of Belgium. As a woman entrepreneur in early 1990s, she has faced many challenges, though she has enjoyed this journey of entrepreneurship. It's a great pleasure to have you here, ma'am.
Thank you.
We also have with us Ms. Priya Puranik, State Secretary, Laku Udyog Bharati, Karnataka and Belagavi based social entrepreneur. She is the director of Akhila Karnataka Brahmana Mahasabha. She has worked as president of Women's Cell at Belagavi Zilla Brahmana Mahasabha. She is founder chairperson of Women's Cell, Belagavi Chamber. She is also have had many achievements and accolades to her. Was awarded as Best Entrepreneur. She is also awarded with Priyadarshini Award, Rajiv Gandhi Award by International Peace Society, Best Social Entrepreneur Award, Entrepreneur of the Year by Gadak Chamber. She is also awarded as Best Entrepreneur from VTU. She is also awarded Rashtriya Nirman Ratan Award by Economic Growth of Society India, Best Social Entrepreneur by Awake Savitri by Phule Award by Niyati Foundation. She is also an excellent social entrepreneur. She is also an amazing social entrepreneur by Women Bridge USA, and she has many more accolades to her hat. So this is about Miss Priya Puranik. Glad to have you on the floor, ma'am. Thank you, and I leave the session open for you all to interact.
Thank you so much, Pratidya ma'am, for introducing us to such extraordinary and formidable women with such caliber who can impart with us all the knowledge they have gained through all of the amazing experiences that they've had. So I would like to ask all of you ladies to impart us with all the knowledge you have for us today and talk about everything that you've achieved and your specialty, your field of work, and how you came about it. So, first, I would like to ask Miss Kumudini ma'am to please talk about everything that you've done and all the amazing things that you taught us today and how you learned all of that.
Uh, yeah, so how I would put it is it was all little steps, but little positive steps that today, now looking back, it feels like such a lot of stuff has happened. Uh, but I feel it's this drive for continuous learning, right? I don't think I ever stopped learning. And I was always curious. I've always, been excited about anything that's new and always wanted to kind of understand what's happening. So I think that is what has led me to this point. And I wouldn't say that it's been an easy journey. I don't think it's an easy journey for anybody for that matter. But it's also about taking those failures in your stride and learning from them and not giving up and doing the best you can. So, thanks so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to ask Miss Priya Puranik, ma'am, to talk about everything that you have done and your work and how you think it'll impact the people of our generation and all the students who have joined here.
First of all, I thank you very much for inviting me. And let me introduce our member, Srimati Nalini. She is a social entrepreneur. Let her brief about her journey as a entrepreneur, as a social entrepreneur.
I am Nalini Vebulkar. I'm into garments. I've just started up with a boutique, which has got all ladies brand. So we are basically, we only dye, we only manufacture, we only do everything. And moreover, we are into hospitality business also. We own a restaurant in Belgaum, that's in Kirloskar Road. So that is we also have some social services, like we do seminars in our this thing that we sponsor for the students, like high tea, lunch. That's all. Then that's all about me. We got group of
Thank
people
you.
also. Okay, thank you.
Let me introduce myself. I am Priya, and I started my entrepreneurship journey as a florist. Long back, I'm very happily and proudly I can say that I introduced the florist concept to Belgavi. I always advise students, especially, कि कुछ करने के लिए कुछ खोना ही पड़ता है. See, when I started, many people they were not ready to purchase bouquets as well as natural flowers because those are perishable. So what I did, I started giving the bouquets and flowers free of cost. Then they automatically they attracted and they came back to me and they started purchasing regular basis. So what I advise students especially, don't go behind money. First try to grab the customers, grab the people, and automatically you will get the money. That is my advice. And second thing, I'm a social entrepreneur because I never go behind money, but money automatically comes to me because of my commitment, because of my confidence and all. Uh, what I advise students, many people they are very they think they have they have the vision to go to foreign countries and they should serve in foreign countries, but that is a very wrong concept. India is a very rich country. Here we can serve. Go to foreign countries, get the technology, but come and serve the country because India is the best country in the world. That one word I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to ask Seema, ma'am, to talk about herself and her journey as an entrepreneur.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure to come back to your alma mater and talk to your super juniors. It's quite exciting. And when there is a women's group, I'm all partial. Okay, so a little brief about me. After I graduated from JIT, it was in 1987. So you all wouldn't have been born then, all the youngsters who are listening to me. I thought I will work for some time, but then I soon realized that working for somebody wouldn't make me happy. So I started on my own. I started a small scale industry, ran it for 10 years, and that is when I said, okay, I have done it now. I need to explore something else. I went into consulting. And then at a fairly ripe old age of 42 years, I took up a full-time job. So my journey has been reverse. After taking full-time job, I was mainly leading talent engagement, organization development for many organizations. And I again did that for about 10, 12 years. And now I am completely into a social sector, handling the people and processes for a NGO, which is in the most underdeveloped region of the country, that is Purvachal, which is part of Uttar Pradesh, and trying to help them build an incubation center here in the middle of nowhere in a small village with just 1,000 population. Yeah, that's about my journey so far.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I'm so sure all of us are really excited to be in the presence of all of you wonderful women who've achieved so much in life, and I'm sure we have a lot to learn. So without further ado, I would like to ask all my colleagues and my friends to ask any questions they have for all of the panelists present here today. So you can put up your questions in the chat box, and we will be asking the questions to any um, panelist that you would want to, in specific or in general as well. I have a few questions here.
Sure. I
that
think
we
we
would
can.
like to ask you, ma'am.
Sure. You know what we could possibly do is maybe you can ask the question till they ask other questions.
Yes,
Otherwise,
ma'am. Yeah. So I think this is in general to all of you ladies. What are the secrets to your success? If
uh,
anybody would like to take the floor, ma'am.
from my side, I'd say one thing is the never say die spirit. So I've always been an optimist, no matter how tough it's been. The other thing would be continuous learning, as I'd already mentioned. Uh, the most important thing is having a support system that believes in you and that's there for you, right? Um, it's possible that we take the wrong turn sometimes. We take decisions that don't necessarily work for us. Uh, but when you have a good support system, when you have people who uh, who are there for you, who are there to support you through those tough times, I think that goes a long way. So for me, it's been my family and my friends. I have an amazing set of friends as well, who've also been my champions in a way. So that's what's been my success recipe, I should say.
That's wonderful, ma'am. I think that resonates with everybody, right? Having good people who believe in you and family and friends. Thank you, ma'am.
And I think also not giving up on myself,
Yeah.
believing in myself. There have been times where I've questioned it, but I think, you know, in the long story, I like to believe I'm a winner. So.
You definitely are, ma'am. Thank you so much. Seema, ma'am.
This is a little difficult question for me to answer because I have not taken a regular or a typical path towards my career or towards, if you want to call it success. Because I started off with entrepreneurship, then went into consulting, then went into a full-time job, then came back to social sector. So it has been a non-linear journey for me. Okay, so what made me, I would say, give my 100%. I don't know whether I'm successful or not. I still have that doubt. But what I did was I could give my 100% to it because I stood stick to my convictions. I did what my heart said is right, rather than doing what was expected right by a professional. I felt if this feels good to me, I'll do. If it felt good for me to leave a high paying corporate job and come and stay in a remote village, I just did that. So it has always been my heart which has been guiding me and leading me rather than my head. So I think that's what mattered.
That's wonderful, ma'am. I think most of the people struggle with that, right? Deciding if you should do something that everybody expects of you or what you think is right. And that's wonderful to see that you went with your heart and you have done amazing things. So I think that's definitely success, is what I would say.
Thank you.
Um, and Nirmala, ma'am. I think we have Nirmala, ma'am, and Priya, ma'am, with us.
It's not Nirmala, it's Nalini.
Nalini, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that.
Yeah. See, I have got full family support. With the family support only, you can go forward. Children support and the friends, everything. Teamwork, I believe in teamwork is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, teamwork is very important. That's all.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay.
So I have a few more questions here. What are some
Okay.
challenges that you faced in the beginning of your journey?
Uh, Actually, I was a housewife only in the beginning. So then my children grew up, everything. Then I thought I wanted to do something in my life. I had from the beginning, I had that I should do something in my life. Okay, I wanted to do something in my life. So actually, we are into this thing, garment business only from before. Then after up with garment business, then we had a small setup, everything. Then we had a hotel. Then I was more interested into garments because ladies businesses, it is all over. So I thought, okay, let me start up with a small boutique. Then I start up with a small boutique, everything. Then I'm flourishing now. And everything, moreover, I everybody cooperated with me, my family. I'm into a joint family. My family cooperated, my children, m- especially my husband, everybody cooperated, so I could go forward. So whatever you think, see where there is will, there is a way. So you have to go forward. That's
Yes,
all.
ma'am. Thank you so much for that, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, would you like to say something about that?
Uh,
If you faced any challenges in the beginning?
Um, Challenges, I think, like I said, everybody has. I remember doing my MBA when when I had my kids.
Okay.
So I literally had like a 3-month-old kid that I used to leave at home and go and attend classes and come back. In fact, I had my second kid during my MBA. It's very easy for people to tell you, "Hey, give up. It's okay. You don't have to do everything." But I think it's also about what you really want, like what Seema was mentioning. You need to follow your heart sometimes. You need to do what is right. Um, like her, I agree. I did have a high paying job, but I chose to quit that and take up stuff that doesn't necessarily pay well, but it gives you the satisfaction and a good night's sleep. So I remember during my PhD times, again, I had a stint at Lawrence Berkeley National Labs, which meant leaving my kids back in India and going and, being there for almost 6 months. Um, the guilt kind of kills you sometimes, but at the same time, you know that sometimes when you need something and you really desire it, you have to go after it. So, and I'm very thankful that I had a supportive family who was more than willing to let me go and pursue my passion, so to speak. So
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Seema, ma'am?
Uh, it's for me, challenges are opportunities. So whenever like I saw an opportunity, or like you would say normally a challenge, for me it was a learning. How do I overcome this? How do I make the best of this? Okay. So if you ask me, did I face any difficulty? I wouldn't say that I faced difficulty or I had faced challenges, but I just had these all wonderful opportunities where I could learn, adjust, find different solutions, figure out what needs to be done, and that's the reason when I closed my business. That's mainly because I wanted to move to Bangalore for my son's education. When I closed and went there, I said, listen, if I take up a job now, or if I start something, I'm going to be engaged full time, and bringing up my child is going to be difficult. Okay, if everybody goes out to work, and when you move to Bangalore and it's a new city and your family doesn't move with you, and you have a lot of problems. So I said, fine, now I'll do consulting work so I can limit my timing and pick and choose what I do and what I don't do. So that is how I got into consulting, and there I learned so many things about consulting, because you go with absolutely no background and you move into consulting, that too in a place like Bangalore, where there are people from the top premier schools who have become consultant, and then you have to do something. And yes, I also felt ki after some years of working that I need to do additional qualification. So I again looked at that as an opportunity and did my post graduation. So I have always seen them as opportunities which I could utilize to my benefit. So if somebody asks me what challenges you faced, I have no answer.
Because all of your challenges were opportunities to do something more. That's
Yes.
wonderful, actually. Priya, ma'am?
See, when I got the opportunities, I got many opportunities, so I couldn't leave that opportunities. Then I took it as a challenge. So that made me go come forward, and I started working on it. So when you get the opportunity, you can't leave it. So I started working on it. Then I just went forward. Then when I stepped in that, so I started getting interest in that. So just I started moving around. Then my had my children support. They also cooperated with me. My husband cooperated with me. So I took it as a challenge, and then I'm just moving around with my just startup now.
That's wonderful, ma'am. So I would like to ask
Thank
this
you.
question to all of you. Did you face any challenges in your field of work as a woman, or difficulties or constraints, or did you feel sh- a bias there where that was very palpable? And how did you go about it if something like that did happen?
You want me to take that up first?
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Yeah. As a woman, I faced challenges when I started off on my own, my industry. That was initially uh, at a stage because I was into a area where there were no women. I was supplying product to sugar industry. And sugar industry, you don't see any women. There are only cooperatives and men are there, women are hardly there. And then I was supplying to them an engineering product. So acceptance was a little difficult for them. And also the people in the sugar industry, when you talk to the board, they are wealthy farmers and may not be very highly educated. To convince them and to get them to accept you as somebody who though looks young and maybe young is equal to you or knows more than you about what she's doing was a little difficult. Okay, so that is the only differential treatment I have felt when as a woman, when I started out. But after that, I haven't seen much of a difference between, I mean, gender-based differences. Especially after moving to Bangalore, I don't think I have ever encountered those kind of differences.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for that. Ma'am?
Oh, I think I'll let the other person
Okay,
handle
ma'am.
it and then
Yeah.
I'll get.
Nalini, ma'am?
Yeah. See, difficulties will come starting. We have to face everything. Like when we enter, there will be so many ups and downs. So sometimes we have to cooperate with everything startup. Like as I told you, I'm into a joint family. I was into a joint family. I have to balance that side also, this side also. I cannot run away from my responsibilities. Then I cannot leave my opportunities also. So I have to balance both. So somehow I could, as I told you, my family also cooperated with me, and everybody cooperated with me. Then I could make it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for that.
So from my end, I think gender bias exists. It may not be very open as such, but gender bias also exists in our own belief systems. So the way we've been brought up, for example, how girls are supposed to behave versus how boys are supposed to behave, a lot of this also becomes ingrained within you. So a lot of times the decisions that you take also, right, they have that gender bias inherent in them, whether the outside world reflects it back or not. I think we also come with an inherent bias within ourselves. For example, when a woman goes out to work, right, and I know I used to feel this a lot, whether other people mentioned it or not to me, I used to feel very guilty of leaving my kids back, or the fact that I wasn't being a good mother when I'm stepping out of the house and so on. So these kind of biases exist. Not acknowledging them may be a wrong thing, because a lot of our baggage that we carry, right? Also stems from these things. So I think it's important to kind of address them. But today I can also say with the same, sense of pride that in a way I think I was able to tell my kids and teach my kids that this is what it is. And today I know both my kids. I have a boy and a girl, but they share responsibility equally. They also, I know they don't have these kind of biases that I used to have, for example. Um, and of course, there will always be people, those the random strangers or even family members who say, "Hey, why are you choosing this over your family?" For example, they never ask a man that question, right? Uh, so that is something that I think we need to acknowledge. But yes, we have been able to address this. Um, However, again, women do tend to take more breaks. Women do tend to have more caretaking responsibility as well. That causes them to also, take breaks from their career, for example, which means that you may not necessarily be at the same level as your colleague who joined with you, for example, in the workplace. So these challenges do come in, but it's also about how you address them, how you handle them personally as well, and how you educate your next generation, for example, to ensure that that bias doesn't exist anymore.
Thank you, ma'am. So, I have another question. What inspired you or motivated you to develop your idea or your business?
Okay, maybe I'll start.
Yeah.
So, a couple of things. So, my very first idea, I must say, was to do with the work that I was doing. So, my PhD was on microgrids, and I was very invested in it in terms of saying, hey, this is something that the world wants, right? So, we tried to set it up, and we said, this is how we need to go. I collaborated with this colleague of mine from Berkeley, and we set up the company. We went out, we started asking around. We had government support in terms of saying, hey, we can invest in the project. But I realized that the market was not ready, you know. So that happened. So that really didn't take off. So it went a certain distance and then it stopped. So back to my innovation, you were also asking me why do I know what I know? Is if you do not get the product market fit, if the market is not willing to pay for what you have, then you do not have a product, right? So that is where I would say it is very, very important. So today, the kind of work that we do, even if it's in the consulting space or the innovation space, it is because the market demands it. And the other thing that I've learned on my entrepreneurial journey is you may have the right answer. If the market is not ready for it, you need to give it to them in the way they need it. Just because you think this is the perfect one doesn't mean the market is going to buy it from you. So sometimes it also is very important to get to the point where the customer understands you, like what I think Priya and Nalini were also mentioning, where they said, florists, you're not willing to buy it, but then you just say, hey, take it for free, figure it out, maybe you will come back to me, right? So going to the level where they are comfortable with you, building that customer relationship, tomorrow they will come to me. I don't even need to ask anymore because they know what my value is. That is how you can also create business. So that becomes important.
Thank
Okay, I'll take it up next. If you ask me, or if I were to say what inspired me to become an entrepreneur, uh, I would say the need for independence. Uh, we are three sisters. So my parents, am I audible? Is the frame frozen?
I'm sorry about that. We had some connection problems,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So till where was I audible?
I think you can repeat as much.
Okay, fine. Uh, for me, the biggest motivation was independence. being financial independence as well as wanting to do something on my own. Uh, this is probably because we are three sisters and my parents brought us up practically like boys. There were not too many restrictions, or there were not, yeah, except for being safe, there were not too many restrictions in terms of wanting to do whatever we wanted to do or following our heart. So, uh, the main motivator was I wanted to do something on my own. I wanted to be financially independent. I didn't want somebody to ask somebody to give me money or uh, fund my the desires for travel or desire to do something different or maybe own a car. Okay, so my motivator has always been that streak of wanting to be independent.
Thank you, ma'am. I think that resonates with all of us actually, because my friends and I also, when we keep discussing about our future lives, it's always, being financially independent. And I think girls and women understand why that is actually important,
Yeah,
as opposed to our male counterparts. Why being financially independent is so important to women who are finally understanding that they have so many opportunities to do what they want to do in life without being confined to a particular role.
right.
So that's wonderful. Nalini, ma'am. Ma'am, you're on mute.
As Seema ma'am told, we have to be independent. Even I don't like to ask anybody anything as a this thing. So I would like to have my own thing. And firstly, I choose this because I like fashion. I like to look nice always. Then I thought my daughter also motivated me to enter garments. So she also motivated me. Then I would like designing from before. So that motivated me. Then, firstly, I was a housewife only, as I told you. I used to feel little bit uncomfortable, but now I feel very nice after doing something. So I don't like to ask anybody anything. So I would like to have my own things. So we started up with the designing, everything. And that's all. I have made my daughter also very independent, so that I didn't have that this thing. She's in Sweden. She's also from GIT, only from your college. She has passed engineering and she has done doing her MS. That is the way I got motivated.
Thank you, ma'am. I think that's really wonderful. When we especially girls my age, see women like you, being mothers and also being such wonderful women entrepreneurs, it really shows that a woman can do everything and anything that she puts her mind to. So
Yeah,
it's
but
wonderful to
what we
have
don't,
like you as a
yeah,
role
what
model.
we have not done, we want our children to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Priya, ma'am.
Actually, Priya ma'am is just gone here out.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
sure. I would also like to remind all the attendees that you can put your questions in the chat box as well, and we will be much obliged to ask them to our panelists. So if anybody has questions, you can put them in the chat box. Okay, until we get any questions in the chat box, um, I'm sorry about that. What did all of you most enjoy about your field of work? What, like, apart from motivation, something that you just enjoy about what you do? Siba, ma'am?
Yeah, I'll take that up. Uh, in fact, all aspects of my work. When you have a curious mind and you want to learn everything, everything is so very interesting to you. Uh, like when I started out as an entrepreneur, I didn't have a clue about running a business because I'm a first generation entrepreneur in our family. Everybody else has been professional, so I had to start from understanding balance sheet, cash flow, inventory management, and it was like every day I'm learning something new. And then when something goes wrong, I was like, oh no, I should have planned it better. Okay, so there was a part of learning that. And once from that, when I moved to consulting again without having any clue about what happens in consulting, that was also a new learning. Okay, so it was always, see, if you ask me what really I enjoy, it is the intellectual challenges that come up that I enjoy. Something that makes you think, something that keeps you awake at night, something that you want to solve. Okay, and solve, when I say solve, it is not for, I'm not somebody who will say I'll do it for public. I want to do it for myself. I want to feel good about it. So that is what I enjoy about work. So here also I'm sitting in the wilderness. I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting people because this culture is much different from our Karnataka culture. Okay, so first for me, the biggest challenge was how do I get these people to listen to me? Because this is a culture where they don't respect women a lot. And here comes a woman and who is trying to, give them instructions to do things. There was a lot of resistance. So I had to learn. In the first few days, I had to take a man with me to give instructions, but I learned the way, and that is what I like. Each and every aspect of what I'm doing, where I get an opportunity to learn and then practice it, is what I like about my work.
That's wonderful, ma'am. Nalini, ma'am?
Yeah, I really enjoy, like, I like to do everything by myself. Whatever it is, whatever I do. For example, like now, how we have started up with the boutique. So we are only dying, we are only printing everything. So I would like to do everything by ourselves. Actually, we are three partners, but I would like to get involved in everything. Only then I will be satisfied, like, okay, it is perfect. Whatever I do, everything from the scratch, I should go every step. And I would like to get involved in every step. Then only I enjoy that thing. So finally, when it comes to when we are doing everything, and finally when it turns up with a dress, when I see that, I feel very happy. Okay, I have done everything. So I enjoy doing everything.
That's wonderful, ma'am. Ma'am?
So what do I do off of what I'm currently working on? Apart from my business itself, I enjoy teaching, so I'm a visiting faculty. So basically, I let myself go and try different things. So recently, we co-authored a book on health. So this is this program uh, that I did last year, and I was so taken up by it. I in fact had even Veena Desai ma'am and Kripa Rasne ma'am attend it. So we did that program, and after that, I was again so involved with it. I said, okay, let's help sir write a book. So co-authored a book. Um, like what Seema was saying again. I think it is like when you have that joy of you're curious and you just want to find out what more is there, that high that you get, of really learning something, going deep inside it. um, so that itself is what really keeps me going, and because of that, I think that also makes me who I am. The fact that I can connect the dots across different disciplines comes from the fact that I've always been curious about anything. So if you put me with a doctor, I'll sit and have a conversation about medical science. So that I think is what keeps me going as well. So
Thank you for that, ma'am. So, if you had the option to go back to a younger version of yourself and give yourself some advice, what would you do? What would you say? Nalini, ma'am? You're on mute, ma'am. Nalini, ma'am, you're on mute.
You're on
Sorry.
mute.
Yeah. I would really enjoy if you would have gone to that anger, this thing. Because now I feel I would have done so many things when I was young. So I miss all that now. Now I'm getting new ideas, everything. So when I go back, I feel I would have done much better.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Seema, ma'am?
uh, I would just tell myself one thing: stay hungry, stay foolish, don't ever give up on living life fully. That's it.
That's wonderful, ma'am.
I would say don't take yourself so seriously. Enjoy life, enjoy the life that you've had. At the same time, I would also say I don't regret a single moment of my life. I think I'd like to believe I've lived to the fullest. So, you know, just hang in there and enjoy the life, enjoy the ride. Whatever comes your way, I think it's going to be fun, good or bad. I think I recently was watching this dance show or something, and there was this little kid who made the statement, and it really hit me. I'm like, he said, "Jito ya siko." Either you win or you learn. So either which way, there is something for you in it. So I think it's an amazing piece of wisdom. So
That's
Well
wonderful.
said, Kumudini. That's very nice. Jito ya siko.
I think that'll resonate with everybody here today. So, moving along the lines of what ma'am said, knowing everything that you know now, after everything that you've learned, is there anything you would do differently?
I doubt, yeah.
No regrets then.
No
Just use
regrets.
everything that you've done. That's wonderful.
see, the way I would see it is, my life trajectory has what has brought me to this point. So if I had changed even one little bit of it, I wouldn't be here where I am today.
Yeah.
So, what's the point of regretting what has happened or whatever? Yeah, there were tough times or there were easy times, but that is what has brought me here. So why really go back and change anything at all?
Yeah, that's wonderful. Nalini ma'am, would you like to say something?
No.
Okay. Okay, so have you drawn your professional inspiration from some other woman or a mentor? Somebody who you've had who's been really an ideal for you?
Yeah, I'll take this. Um, just after I started my own business industry, I attended the entrepreneurship development program by DIC. It was DIC Hubli which had conducted a 6 weeks program. The core faculty there was Professor Sampath, who was from IIT, IIM and all. And he introduced me to Professor Pulin and his work. Professor Pulin was professor of organizational development behavior uh, from IIM Ahmedabad. And he was so good with people, so good with people. Just one look at a person's face, and he knew what was going on in that person's mind. He inspired me so much. I went ahead and did work with Pulin. He used to have these summer internships and training programs and all that. And that is why ultimately I think after I moved out of close my industry and moved into consulting, I moved morely into the area of people and OD and behavior and all that rather than sticking to my engineering stream, because the industry that I was doing was closely related to engineering. It was production. And then I said, no, I need more to be. I have built things now. I want to build people now. So that is what inspired me to move more into the people related areas, people related fields, and work there.
That's wonderful, ma'am. Ma'am?
Uh, I've had several inspiring people. I think my very first inspiration was my parents and my grandparents. My grandparents, because they were all teachers. My parents, because I think I have never known another person who was more selfless or, absolutely against taking bribes and things like that. He was in a job which probably mandated the way the government functions, but he was such a stickler for how things are done. um, he wouldn't take a bribe. I still remember he was in Lingskur for one of the major works thing, and he was so particular. He would be like, he wouldn't even allow the contractor to even buy him a cup of tea. So he was that meticulous about this. So somebody I really look up to is my dad. During school, I have had many teachers, but one of them really stands out is Miss Anant Lakshmi, who was a maths teacher, but she was also the one who laid the spiritual seed in me, I should say. In UVC, I had Deepa Shnoy ma'am, who is now the current chair of IEEE, and I'm still in touch with her. She has attended every one of my special moments, my marriage, my child's naming ceremony, and everything. So she's been there through thick and thin for me. In college, I had NJ Rao sir. I have worked very closely with him as well. So it's like I think I've always found inspiration in the people that I work with or I have studied under, and everybody has had a way, to leave an impact and imprint on me, and they have taught me things that I probably would not have known otherwise. So yeah, and it continues. The journey continues. So after that, I told you about the book. So there was another a person called Sridhar sir, who is an art of war expert, art of business warfare. So I edited his book for him because I really was impressed with his work and all of that. So each of these people, I think they always leave these lasting impressions. So
Thank you, ma'am. Nalini, ma'am?
Firstly, I was inspired by my father. He was a social worker, and I was very inspired by him. Then now he's no more. But whenever I do something, I just think about my father and how he went on in his life. I also would like to go like him. And my sister, who is also into business, where she's a very dynamic lady. Whenever I see her, I feel I'm inspired by her and I would like to do work like her. And Priya ma'am, actually, Priya ma'am also she's my mentor. I would like to always follow her. She has taught a lot of things in my life. Then that's all.
Thank you, ma'am. So again, I repeat, all the participants and the audience can ask a few questions and you can put it up in the chat box. If you have any questions, please do so. So what advice would you give to women about leadership and entrepreneurship?
take a dive, go swimming. I think there's no easy way about it. You just have to go ahead and do it and learn along the way. There is no perfect course out there that can teach you exactly what is going to come up. So, the best thing is to actually take that plunge. So,
Thank you, ma'am. Nalini, ma'am?
No, nothing. I just
Okay.
like to pass.
Seema, ma'am?
she's on mute.
Ma'am, you're on mute, ma'am.
Yeah, I would say don't be afraid to take up the challenges. It could be that you might think that something is beyond you and you may not be able to handle it. But I'm sure you just open out and ask for help. Just because you're doing something so great, there'll be so many people who will stretch their hand out to help you, and you at the end of the day you will get what you want. So all you need to do is not be scared and just be there.
I'd like to add to what Seema is saying as well is don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't feel that you have to do it all by yourself. This is not a journey that needs to be done alone. Especially for women, I think we also have this challenge that if we ask, it means we are weak or we cannot do it. It's not a sign of weakness asking for help. And yeah, I think, and you have to go for what you really desire.
That's wonderful, ma'am. Thank you. Does anybody in the meeting have any questions? You can turn on your mic or you can put the question in the chat box as well.
Can I ask them a question?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
So most of them are women. This is any woman can answer this. Uh, we see right now a lot of women are going on to they are starting their own businesses, and we have, I think, in India around 12, 13 unicorns who are founded by women. How many of you think you have it in you to make a unicorn, to build a unicorn? And if you think so, why?
Guys, and if you can answer.
Uh, Seema, can I turn that question around? I'm sorry if we are going to make this a
Sure.
panel discussion. My question would be, why do we need a unicorn? Because I feel that we are going about our organizations very differently. I think
Hmm.
what we really need in the world today are more social entrepreneurs. We need people who, are organizations that are self sustaining, but at the same time do not leave the people and the planet behind. I
Right.
feel somewhere this whole running after becoming a unicorn or becoming that company which makes the maximum amount of profit, we lose sight of what is really important, which are people, relationships, family, or even the ecology, environment, our planet itself.
Yeah.
Uh, so, uh, my question then, I mean, my answer to your question would be, as women, maybe we should start thinking differently at least. Maybe there is a different way that we could possibly take up rather than going the way some other man has led. I think
See,
trailblazing in a
yeah,
different.
you're right. See, when I ask about women being a unicorn, what I am really saying is there have been women in the tier two cities who have turned it around and made a unicorn.
That's true.
Okay, we have this app called Animal, which is only for buying and selling animals for tier two cities, the cows and all that. We have
Mhm.
Mama Earth, which is again, I wouldn't say it is tier two, but it also talks about the, the natural ingredients for this one. So a lot of these things can be into the social enterprise.
I agree.
But what we are doing is, when we talk about social enterprise, we also say that, listen, we are not profit oriented. No, no, don't do that. You need to sustain, you need to give job to people, you need to
Exactly.
become profitable to be able to start a movement and take people with you. So that is what I was coming from, saying that, listen, stop migrating to the bigger towns, go to tier 2 towns, create a unicorn there, and let people know that money, if you're after money, money can be had here too.
That's wonderful, ma'am. Thank you both for that. Different perspectives, but both
Yeah.
equally impactful.
But I think, see, women also have that perspective. I think it is about leave no person behind. I shouldn't say leave no man behind. I think women have always had that, right?
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
as a mother in a family, the mother, and this is a conversation we were having earlier as well in another panel,
yeah.
where, OECD did a study and they said if a man earns 100 rupees, he would probably spend about 80 rupees on himself and 20 rupees goes to the family. Whereas if a woman, or maybe it's 50-50, but if a woman earns 100 rupees, 80% goes back to the family, and the
Right,
remaining 20% also she probably will save another 10-15, and maybe 5 is what she would spend on herself. So
right.
the dynamic or the perspective that a woman brings to a business or any decision for that matter is
Yeah.
very, very different from that of a man. Maybe because of our upbringing again, but this is a very stark difference that has been noticed across the world. So,
You are so right, Kumudini, because when I have to design something for the organization or employee welfare, my first statement is, listen, I'm a very stingy person. Okay, so my budget or the expense or the kind of things that I do are going to be saving a lot of money. Yeah, women always think of not wasting too much time, too much money, and they also think of, somewhere they have this thought, ki, let us not overindulge in certain things.
frugality
Yeah,
comes naturally to us, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. I think we've come to the end of our session and we have no more questions left. So I would like to thank all of you for this session, for this wonderful opinions and different perspectives. And all of your journeys are so inspirational. And I'm sure it's impact all of us in one way or another. And all of us will be leaving here with something to learn, something to look forward to, to do something inspired by everything that all of you have done. So thank you for all of that. I would like to ask Abhishek sir to please present the vote of thanks. Thank you.
I can get.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Yeah, it's an honor to propose the vote of thanks for this session. A wonderful interaction, a lot of ideas being exchanged, quite motivative to hear from wonderful guests that we had in the session today. So I thank, first of all, Seema Sali ma'am for taking out time from a busy schedule and accepting our invitation to be one of the speakers for the AMA session. Next, I would like to thank Nalini ma'am as well as Priya ma'am for having shared their views and having taken out time from their busy schedule as well. Last but not the least, since morning, Kumudini ma'am has been our guest even right from the inauguration session. So rather than guest, by the end of this afternoon, she's more of a family since she's with us throughout the day, being the part of this Congress. But I really thank her for traveling from Bangalore to Belgaum and being our guest and helping us to have these sessions, to have the day long sessions successful and wonderful for everyone here. So at the end, I really thank all the speakers for today. I thank the organizing team. I thank Veena Desai ma'am, Professor Vinita Gedji, my mentor, and all the other volunteers to make this event a success. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Kumudini and Nalini and Priya. It was good knowing you all, and thank you for hosting us.
Same here, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so I would request everybody to visit our Belgaum stores, all your GIT students. Okay?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Thanks a lot, everybody. And I really learned a lot from all of you as well. I mean, Seema and Nalini, great to make your acquaintance online. We'll certainly connect offline as well.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Great knowing you all. Thanks, Veena.
yeah, thanks. I'll take this opportunity, though Abhishek has done the official vote of thanks. I thank all of you ladies from the bottom of my heart for always making all the events at GIT. So very beautiful that we want to make them again and again. Thank you, Seema. As always, you are inspiring and she calls us, super juniors, not me, but the others. I am Seema's junior. The spectrum under which all of you work, Seema, Kumudini, Priya, and Nalini. You're great people. Just listening to you, we also feel that we should come out of our comfort zone and try and do something plus, okay, apart from our profession also. So thanks all of you for honoring my invitation and being here with us today.
Veena, you are doing much better work than us. You are shaping so many youngsters' careers.
Yeah.
I think education is the thing.
Yeah.
You get to play with the minds of people, and I think it's such a responsible job.
Yeah.
It's a pity that somewhere along the way we have forgotten that aspect, where teaching is just seen as a profession. I think it is so much more.
I really hope we touch lives. And
You do touch lives, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we do touch lives, and we groom the next generation here. So Lydia is the one to whom everything was literally outsourced for the AMA session. I said, "You're going to handle it, Lydia," and she's done a
It's my
wonderful
pleasure,
job.
ma'am.
Wonderful job.
It's my pleasure, and it was a wonderful opportunity to be amongst all of you and learn so much.
So
I have to say thank you for the knowledge.
So thanks everyone, all those who are online and listening, and it's also being streamed on YouTube. So people who are not able to, have a chat, we can understand that. And thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day and
Thank
stay
you.
safe.
Thank you.